I gave myself 20 hours to get every achievement in Dark Souls 2. If I don't, then I smash my computer. So with no time to waste, we make our character, listen to these old women call us cursed, and get our first of many achievements in Dark Souls 2. There we go. Recollection. Oh my gosh, I can't even pronounce the first one. We head on through the tutorial area and are immediately reminded what game we are playing.
Alrighty. Yep. This is Dark Souls.
Leaving the tutorial, we find our main area of the game, Majula. Here we will have many NPCs and things to help us on our journey. We discover our first 2 covenants here.
Hey, Covenant of the Meek. Discover the Covenant of the Meek. Oh, Covenant of the Fittest.
And our first of 20 gestures we will need for one of our later achievements. Here we also have the lady who gives us our Estus Flask and allows us to level up. But if you look closely, you will notice I don't have any Estus Flask. And that's because I wanted to go into the game completely blind. And because of that, I missed our main healing item and the ability to level up. So for the first 30 minutes, our gameplay consisted of rationing life gems and a lot of dying. It wasn't all useless though. We found the map maker, sending him back to Majula for 2 future achievements, one involving him and another once we get a certain amount of NPCs in Majula. Tired and frustrated of life gems, I explore around to finally find our Estus Flask and get the ability to level up.
Oh my gosh, thank you. What the frick?
With this, our game can now be played the correct way. But this is Dark Souls, so there is a ton more pain yet to come. With our loyal Estus Flask now in hand, we head on back to fight our first of many bosses. Do what? Let's remember, this is a blind run, meaning I knew nothing about Dark Souls 2 and how it added one of the worst stats ever to the game. But we will wait till later to go over how this game was considered so bad they had a remake made about 1 year later.
Yeah, you're trash, kid. Last giant. Defeat the last freaking giant.
After making the giants extinct, we finally level up, putting all our points into the stat I mentioned earlier, ADP or adaptability. This allows us to boost up our agility, giving more iframes in our roll. Currently at level 6 ADP, we have 86 agility. In order to get a roll equal to the one in Dark Souls 1, we need to have a total of 105 agility. While we are learning, allow me to give some story info. This game is about the cycle of the flame. Our character's goal is to link the flame and keep the world from turning to darkness. In order to have a soul powerful enough to do this, we must gather the 4 great souls gotten from specific bosses. So in order to complete the story, we need to find these 4 bosses and then link the flame. In order to get every achievement, we will have to beat the game 2.5 times while collecting almost every item in the game. So we head on out to our first great soul, continuing our race against time, taking out a boss and getting another resident at Majula. Wee woo, wee woo. Complicated achievement time. For this achievement, we must use this lady in 3 battles and make sure she doesn't die. In order to do this, we have to find her and speak to her, causing her summoning sign to appear, which we then have to find and activate it. It is only visible when we are not hallowed. We then can head to the boss of the area and defeat it.
Alright, and then let's just roll off the frickin' map.
But this makes all the fights we do with her super easy and takes all the fun away. But it must be done. Afterwards, we invite another NPC to Majula and backtrack nearby where we killed the last giant to defeat another boss there.
Get out of my face, you freaking nerd.
Catching our Uber to the next area and talking to our favorite person again to progress her story. While here, we throw a barrel down these stairs to unlock the blacksmith, where we can upgrade our weapons and get 2 future achievements. Whoop another boss, or 3, and find another covenant.
Clangorous Covenant? I don't even know what Clangorous.
This covenant will be causing us a lot of pain later on. Oh my gosh, I'm tired of doing this already. We summon our NPC carry and begin our first fight against a Great Soul boss. Which she kills, so thanks for that. Heading down allows us to light our first primal bonfire and finishes this path.
Hey, Sinner's Bonfire.
The best way to describe Dark Souls 2 map is like 5 separate paths. For reference, here is a super detailed map I found online. Each path leads to a Great Soul. Once the Great Soul is obtained, we reach a dead end and a primal bonfire. Except for the 5th path, which can only be accessed after we get the 4 Great Souls. Before starting our 2nd path, we help this guy out. Speaking with him allows us to trade in the boss souls dropped from each specific boss. This gives us access to many items we have to get for later achievements. so we will be visiting this guy quite a bit. Paying this lady 2 grand allows us to begin down our second path for another Great Soul, where we find a jester and begin one of the game's many optional boss fights.
Just let me in.
Go, 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 go.
Piece of cake.
Well, not optional for us. Defeating this boss unlocks access to a covenant, but I didn't know that, so I'll be back later. Another optional boss is Old Dragon Slayer.
Oh, this is the guy we fought in the first game. This should be pretty easy. Okay.
Defeating him gives access to another covenant, plus a few items we will have to buy. Protector Covenant.
Boom.
Back on our Great Soul path, we encounter our easiest fight so far with these super weak skeletons.
Let's go.
Speaking with this lady is another NPC recruited to Majula.
What in the world? Oh my gosh. The stupid thing tricked me and I jumped straight in with it.
Exploring on, we discover another covenant.
Brilliant Covenant. Discover a most brilliant covenant.
Run into Jabba the Hutt, who we kill and then tell our favorite NPC about. Another NPC we encounter is Ladderman. He heads back to Majula to later give us access to another Great Soul path and an achievement. But he also talks a lot.
Oh! Misclick.
After getting one shot a few times,
Holy freaking crap! Okay, good first try, good first try.
we are able to take out the boss and head on down, almost at this path's Great Soul. We also begin to realize how underleveled we currently are, so we grab our souls and escape to try a different path.
Run, please! Oh my.
Luckily, we know just the man for that.
Hey. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that first word, but we got it.
The path he leads us to was just as bad as the last, but in a little different way.
I was tricked. I was bamboozled.
For this one, there are a ton of drops and confusing turns, as well as poison everywhere.
Ah! Oh my gosh! What the frick?
Out of the whole game, this part was my least favorite, but difficulty-wise, nowhere near the worst.
I'm getting off.
Then we encounter these two monsters. For a later achievement, we need to collect Souls of Giants, all found in unique spots from different enemies. Out of them all, none are easy to get, but I struggled with this one the second most of them all. But the one we end up struggling with the most is one of the dumbest fights I have ever seen in a Souls game. Finally defeating them, we get our first giant soul and the Forgotten Key. Heading back into the hole and taking a slightly alternate path brings us upon the Royal Rat Vanguard. Defeating them allows us to join another covenant.
Let's go. Gnawing Covenant.
We can then use the Forgotten Key to open this door, bringing us to an old man we will have a lot to do for later. For the final time, we summon our carry and head on to take down our second Great Soul.
Hey, let's go.
With our final fight with her complete, we now just have to continue our story until we run into her for a final time to complete the achievement. Lighting our second primal bonfire, we finish another one of our paths.
Gulch Bonfire.
And make a quick detour back to where we fight the giant horse to join the covenant we previously missed.
Sanguary Covenant.
An Easter egg most people don't know is that all the blood on the walls is actually from everyone who didn't go smash that subscribe button. Wow, that's really scary. I mean, you should probably just play it safe and subscribe. Back to the previous Great Soul path, this time prepared. On the way to an optional boss, we find another summon for our favorite carry, using it just in case we didn't have enough for the achievement. After being carried through another fight, we learn the dangers of fire.
Guys, y'all gotta be more careful. This is a dangerous area.
And arrive at the Great Soul, where we once again learn the dangers of fire.
What the frick?
Quickly defeating the easiest of the Great Soul bosses and lighting our third primal bonfire.
Hey, Iron Keep Bonfire.
We can now begin down our fourth and final path for a Great Soul, where we give a woman some clothes.
Hey, change of clothes.
And find a second carry. Just like our last carry, this guy must be summoned for 3 battles where we make sure he lives. How fun. Returning back to Majula, we discovered we had finally increased the population enough.
Hey, Gathering of Exiles. Boop. Oh, she is dripped out now.
While here, we make sure to purchase a required item for later on.
Satisfied?
Yes.
Continuing our journey to the final primal bonfire, we read some helpful messages,
Thank you, guys.
find a head,
And his helmet and the reflections of disembodiment. and have some slight technical difficulties. What the frick just happened? Oh, my controller died. Wow. That was sick.
Using the ring we bought in Majula earlier, we are able to talk to this guy, where he asked us to kill this area's boss, so we accept and head off. Not before finding this old guy though, in the second of the 3 locations he will be at. We then take on the boss for Scorpion Man.
Let's go.
Defeating her and returning to him, we are given another required jester. Leaving here, we stumble across our carry for another easy boss fight with him.
Alrighty. We gotta complete it with that guy. Yay.
With this by far being the shortest pass of all the Great Souls, we arrived there in no time.
What the frick happened? I thought it died, but its head exploded. Let's go.
Defeating this boss though, we get no Great Soul. That's because this one's laying on the ground over here. Near the primal bonfire, we find the body to the helpful hail we found earlier, and like everything else in this game, kill it. Going to light the fire gives us a bit of a scare when we meet this thing for the first time, and it tells us to seek out Vendrick. So we put that down as our next task and light the fire.
I think I didn't start swinging on him. Brightstone bonfire.
Before that though, we stopped to get a little stronger.
Boom. Supreme weapon. Reinforce a weapon to its limits.
And after spending 14,000 souls with him, we also inherit his equipment.
Hey, Smith for life.
With the 4 Great Souls now in hand, the Shrine of Winter opens, allowing us to enter the final area. Here we meet a ghost who sells us more items in every playthrough, meaning in our 3rd playthrough we will have to make it all the way to him to buy our last items, completing every achievement. Now behind this door is the final boss, which we can't access yet. Remember that weird thing that said to seek out Vendrick? We have to do that to open this door, so yay. Old Man in a Chair is also here, and finally allows us to join his covenant.
Yay. Abysmal Covenant.
In his covenant, we are able to do 3 dives in his locations, which we will obviously have to do. Completing them will give us access to a super hard but also cool boss. On the topic of bosses, here is 2 quick ones.
Wow.
Summon our carry for the second of 3 times, and as you already know, the fight is now super easy.
Let's go. There's our second battle with Benhart. Oh, defeat Looking Glass Knight. Nice.
Alrighty. Welcome to the most annoying part of any Souls game I have ever played. And if you have played this game, then you probably feel the same. Bars. I don't think there will ever be or has been an area worse than this one. Water that slows you everywhere, enemies hiding in the water everywhere, tracking magic casters everywhere, ogre that one-shots you, not everywhere but still annoying.
No shot.
He just one-shots you if that happens. Plus holes you can fall in and instantly die everywhere. Whoever made this part of the game must have hated the player base, because this is the worst thing I have ever experienced. The only good thing about this area is the boss is pretty easy compared to some of the other ones in the game.
Yeah, get out of here. Skedaddle. Skedaddle.
Another big tree jump scare?
Stop doing that.
Then he lets us know that we are near Vendrick. This is also where I figure out you can upgrade your Estus Flask.
So, we've struggled a lot with Estus Flask so far.
We defeat another boss to finally find Vendrick. We then commit robbery and take his ring.
King's Ring. Acquire the King's Ring. This is super creepy.
For now, we leave him alone, but we'll be back later. Back at Majula, we invade the world of a traitor for the longest boss fight in the whole game, since she just kept healing.
Holy crap, she was not easy.
Using the ring we stole from Vendrick allows us to open these doors, but there's still a few things that need to be done before we open the one to the final boss. Down this path, we meet our first carry for the final time.
Alright. I don't know how to say that. Lucette, but we did it.
A quick update on us. We are now 9 hours in and a tiny bit worried since we still haven't even completed our first playthrough yet. But it doesn't matter now anyways. There's no way of saving my computer except by getting these achievements. So we push on. For some reason, I feel like I should wait to pull this. And it's a good thing I didn't pull it. If we did, it would have released this man, causing a ton of trouble for us. He not only would have started to fight us all the time, but we would not have been able to complete his quest for later achievements. On the way to our next area, we stumble across a dragon, but this boss is nothing compared to the one we are about to fight. In the next area, we steal this petrified egg, receiving the Ashen Mist Heart from this nice dragon.
Ashen Mist Heart. Ancient Dragon.
This is a key item we are able to enter into memories with and further progress our story. Before leaving though, we make a slight mistake. Now it is time. Time for the worst boss I have ever fought. It's not that this boss is necessarily hard, it's just super annoying. With its giant health bar, huge AoE attacks, and the fact every attack that it does land will one-shot us, making this fight terrible. But like a great man once said, never back down, never give up. So I kept going at this dragon again and again and again, eventually adapting and learning the toe wedge strategy. Using this spot, it will lessen the amount of times the boss will use its giant AoE attack, making this fight finally come to an end.
Yeah!
You suck.
First frickin' try.
We are rewarded our second giant soul and continue back on our journey. Bringing the petrified egg to this guy, we discover another covenant.
Covenant of Ancients.
Heading back to the very beginning of the game where we fought the last giant, there are giant trees. With the Ashen Mist Heart, we can interact with these trees, entering memories. While here, this guy yaps forever and gives us our final gesture.
Hurrah! Gesture Maestro. Learn all gestures.
Our goal in these memories is to find the giant soul, which will allow us to leave. There are a total of 3 memories we need to enter and do this in. Within our second memory, we speak with our time-traveling carry and find our 4th of 5 giant souls. Arriving in the third memory, we are able to summon our carry for his final battle, where we need to defeat the Giant Lord. Defeating this boss will give us the final item we need to finish the story. With it dead, all we need to do is go enter that final door. But we have a couple of things to clean up first. We grab our 5th and final giant soul and head back into the second memory. Talking with our carry, we finish his quest.
There we go. Moonlight Greatsword.
With the Giant Lord defeated, we can also head back into the first memory and talk to Mr. Yapper, finishing his quest as well.
Hey, Holder of the Fort.
Now, having obtained every giant soul, we can head back to Vendrick, who has a ton of health. For every giant soul gained, it makes him weaker to our attacks. Meaning if we had not grabbed a single giant soul, we would do 32 times less damage, resulting in the longest fight ever. Finally though, we put the old guy to rest.
Hey, killed the poor old guy. Vendrick. It's a lot of souls too.
Going to talk to another old guy, we join his covenant, allowing us to enter these portals by sacrificing a human effigy. Within the portal, we will need to kill all the enemies and light the fire. We will then be able to leave and level up our covenant rank. We do this at all 3 locations we found him, with our third time being a little different. After fully completing the third, we get surprised with a secret optional boss. And as I said earlier, he may be super cool, but he's super hard as well.
I'm dead.
After struggling for a bit, we defeat it, getting another boss soul to trade in and maxing out our covenant rank.
First try. Selfless Giver. Golly.
Now with our cleanup done, we head to the final boss, or bosses. With them defeated, another final boss appears. So now we beat the final boss. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Tree Guy appears and he's the actual final boss. So with the tree dead, we take our throne and finish the game, where we are then force-fed the longest credits I've ever seen in a game.
Holy crap. The air. See the longest freaking credit scenes of your life. That was insanely long.
Heading back over to the map guy, we have done all his tasks, causing every flame to be lit.
Yay. Curious map. Oh, flames lit. It's litty.
Now for our remaining achievements, we need to collect all hexes, sorceries, miracles, and pyromancies. This will then give us our final achievement, the Dark Soul. Our first stop is Mirror Guy. By killing off a few NPCs for him,
Who is Falcon? Because I almost started whooping that random guy right there.
we can complete his quest line for some required items. And since we are going to New Game Plus soon, this was the perfect time to do it. This right here is one of our 2 longest farms in the game. Joining the Bellkeeper Covenant and getting it to rank 3 rewards us a required item. In order to do that, we must reach max rank by killing this guy 30 times. He has a 10% chance of spawning, and in order to check, we have to go all the way up and then reset at a bonfire, wasting a ton of time. Luckily, by using this spell, it allows us a much faster method. We don't even have to leave the bonfire to check. So after a full hour of farming, we can claim our item and head into New Game Plus. We currently have 1.5 more playthroughs to go and a little over 7 hours to get through them. Since we have took care of almost everything we possibly could in the first playthrough, our only goal for this one is to get those 4 Great Souls and take out the final boss. So we run past every single enemy we can, only stopping when the game makes us fight a boss. After collecting a few more boss souls in New Game Plus, we can trade them in for our final hex.
Yes! Learned all hexes. That's awesome. That means we don't have to get the DLC stuff. That would have been terrible if we had to do all that still.
We then keep running, killing more bosses, collecting more boss souls. Once again, we stop to trade them in, this time for our final sorcery.
Boom. Learn all sorceries.
Master of Sorcery.
Freak off, Strayed.
With nothing left to do in this playthrough, we power through, defeating the last boss and making sure to join this covenant before going into New Game Plus 2. Unique to Dark Souls 2, enemies can despawn when killed enough, but joining this covenant prevents that from happening. So we join and go into New Game Plus 2. Now this is our hardest farm. We must kill these guys for sunlight medals. Their drop chance is about 1% and we need 30 sunlight medals, meaning with normal odds we would need to kill around 3,000 to get our 30 medals. But by using a few items that boost item discovery, we are able to get all 30 sunlight medals in an hour and a half, giving us about 3 hours to work with for this last playthrough. All we need to do here is turn in our sunlight medals, get the 4 Great Souls, and talk to the ghost guy. So same as last time, with nothing to worry about, we just whoop bosses and run fast. Our only stop is at the statue to slowly turn in our sunlight medals. With the final Great Soul, we open the Shrine of Winter, enter into the castle, and with 38 minutes on the clock, purchase our final items, meaning our computer has officially been saved.
Master of Miracles. Oh, Master of Pyromancy, and this, the Dark Soul.
If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you and peace.